Corporate media talking heads, the very same personalities who fixated on phantoms of Russian meddling in US elections, well, they're hailing these mass protesters as pro-democracy. It's almost like this pro-democracy talking point used by every single corporate media outlet is part of a coordinated effort.
Pro-democracy. 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 Pro-democracy.
But what corporate media won't tell you is that the US government is deeply involved in the unrest gripping Hong Kong. Now, obviously, there's no way the United States can mobilize thousands upon thousands of protesters, but what it can do, and indeed does, is groom protest leaders ahead of time, so when an opportunity arises, the US is in position to redirect popular discontent to suit its own interests instead of the masses of protesters. Cynical stuff, huh? This is Joshua Wong. Wong testified on Capitol Hill, thanking Congress, not for the money it gave him, but for standing on the side of freedom. Wong was even caught on camera meeting with a political counselor from the US Embassy in Hong Kong. And that's just scratching the surface of Wong and his fellow schemers' ties to the US government. This is Jimmy Lai. He's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's often called the Rupert Murdoch of Hong Kong. Lai is a central figure in the protest movement. He uses his tabloid media empire called Apple Daily, the biggest in Hong Kong, to promote the protests. The content is outright racist and xenophobic against mainland Chinese. This full-page ad called pregnant women from mainland China locusts who are invading Hong Kong to steal resources. Well, judging by the huge amounts of video, the violence in Hong Kong has been initiated and mostly carried out by protesters. When they occupied the airport, they took a journalist captive and took turns beating him unconscious for hours. Then, when he was finally being carted away on a stretcher, one protester ran up and struck him with an American flag. Or how about this video of protesters clashing with outnumbered police? How would cops react here in the United States? I think it's a safe bet that American police would have zero tolerance and would have shot and killed the protesters. I'm not arguing as justification for the shooting, but it begs the question why corporate media is only showing the reaction and not the action. Seems like propaganda to me. As we've seen, the protesters have gone far beyond mild force, and Hong Kong's police have been relatively restrained. So let's call what's happening in Hong Kong what it is. It's not a pro-democracy movement, it's a US government trained and funded violent separatist movement run by operatives that exploit the plight of Hong Kong's youth to enrich oligarchs and destabilize China.